So you've booked your cruise, you've picked your room, but let's be honest, you're already picturing yourself in something a little nicer, right? A balcony, maybe even a suite. Well, today we are pulling back the curtain on Royal Caribbean's upgrade bidding program, Royal Up, to figure out exactly how it works and if it's a smart move for you. I mean, who doesn't dream of that sweet life? More space, your own private balcony, all those extra perks? The only thing that usually stops us is the price tag. Royal Up kind of presents itself as this golden ticket, a way to snag that dream room for way less money. But is it really a sure thing, or is there a catch? Let's find out.
Okay, before we get into the nitty-gritty strategy and the secrets, we've got to start with the absolute basics. So what even is Royal Up, and who gets to play?
At its heart, the idea is really simple. Royal Caribbean has some empty higher category staterooms, and they're giving you a chance to bid for one. You basically tell them how much you'd be willing to pay to jump from, say, an interior room to a balcony. Then you cross your fingers and see if they think your offer is good enough. And honestly, this is the perfect way to think about it. It's an auction because, yeah, the amount of money you bid, your strategy definitely matters. But it's also a total lottery because the whole thing is completely blind. You have no idea what anyone else is offering. It's just you, a price slider, and an algorithm deciding your fate. So who gets to get in on this? Well, good news, most people with a booking are eligible. You'll probably get an email invitation that pops up somewhere around a month or so before your cruise. But hey, if you don't see it, don't worry. You can always go right to the Royal Up website and check for yourself with your reservation number. Just a little heads up though, if you booked through certain third parties or you're part of a really big group, you might not be eligible. All right, so you're eligible and you're feeling lucky. How do you actually go about placing a bid? Well, thankfully, it's a pretty simple process. Okay, so once you're on the bidding page, you'll see a list of all the possible upgrade categories and the minimum amount you can bid for each one. There's a little slider that lets you set your price, and you can bid on multiple categories to up your odds. Don't worry, you'll only ever win and pay for one of them. And then the waiting game begins. And I mean, it can be a long wait. You might hear back the next day, or you could still be waiting until just 2 days before you set sail. Now, here's a super important detail about the cost. The bid amount you're looking at is per person for the entire length of the cruise. So if you bid $100, that's actually going to cost you $200 total, since it's always based on 2 guests. But, and this is the good news, if you have a third or fourth person in your room, their upgrade is completely free. You only ever pay for the first 2. Okay, we've covered the fun part, the dream scenario. Now we've got to talk about what is probably the most important section of this entire explainer. These are the critical details, the gotchas that you absolutely, positively have to understand before you place a bid. And I mean it. Just pause for a second and listen really closely, because these next few points could be the difference between getting a dream upgrade and having a major regret. This is the big trade-off. First, if your bid gets accepted, it is a done deal. Your credit card is charged right away, and there are no refunds, no do-overs. But more importantly, and this is the real kicker, you give up all control over your room's location. You are bidding for a category, not a specific cabin. You might get that perfect midship room, or you could end up at the very front of the ship, directly under the gym or above a loud bar. You are quite literally rolling the dice. All right, for all my fellow loyal to Royal cruisers out there, this one is for you. You know one of the best perks of booking a suite is that you earn double crown and anchor points, right? Well, if you win a suite through Royal Up, you get the amazing room, but you do not get the extra points. You'll only earn points based on the room category you originally booked and paid for. Okay, if you only take one single piece of advice from this entire thing, let it be this. Before you place any bid, just call Royal Caribbean or your travel agent and ask one simple question. How much would it cost to just upgrade directly to that category right now? You might be absolutely shocked to find out that the price to upgrade is actually less than the minimum bid. Plus, if you do it that way, you get to pick your exact room. Always, always check first. So, after all that, we land on the big question. Should you do it? Let's actually weigh the pros and cons to figure out if Royal Up is a smart bet or maybe a fool's errand. And this chart just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? With Royal Up, you have the potential for a lower cost, but that potential comes at a price. You get 0 choice over your room, 0 certainty you'll win, and fewer loyalty perks. Now, upgrading directly gives you total control. You know the price, you pick the exact room, it's 100% guaranteed, and you get all the points you're supposed to. The decision really just comes down to what you value more, a potential bargain or total control. And that really is the bottom line. Royal Up isn't some secret sale, it's a gamble. If you're a super flexible traveler, you don't really mind where your room is located, and you just be happy to get a better category for less money, it can be a fantastic opportunity. But if you have specific needs, like you have to be mid-ship to avoid motion sickness, or you need a quiet location, then this is a program you should probably steer clear of. So now you have all the info. You know the potential reward, and you definitely know the risks involved. You have to ask yourself, for your next cruise, are you feeling lucky?
Ready for a travel experience that's truly elevated? Reach out to Siobhan at wanderkeep.com or just scan the QR code and let's start planning your next unforgettable journey, because your journey deserves to be elevated.